Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Competitive Corner. Today we're actually going to be taking a look at Rampardos, someone that I've used fairly recently and a bit in the past as well. It's one of the cooler designed Pokemon in my opinion, and honestly, there's some pretty cool stuff that you can do with it. So let's get into that. So right off the bat, he starts off with 97 HP, 165 attack, 60 defense, 65 special attack, 50 special defense, and 58 speed. So just looking at those stats, you can already assume that he's going to be a physical attacker, not very defensive, and most likely used in Trick Room or with a Scarf or some other options. However, there's a few tricks up his sleeve, and we'll get into that. He is a pure rock type, which means he's not the greatest defensively. As you can see, he's weak to fighting, ground, steel, water, and grass, all fairly common types. While he does resist normal, flying, poison, and fire, you're not really going to be seeing him able to really stay in against, say, like a Talonflame. You can't switch into a Brave Bird to take that because it really cannot take those attacks. You're free to stay in if you're already in, but don't switch in on that. So the first set that you're really going to be using is going to be a physical offense set. I'm going to hit a video here as we go. But yeah, you're really going to be using a physical offensive set. 252 HP, 252 attack. I didn't put 4 EVs in. I should have. It could go into defense or special defense, really up to you. And then the moves. Well, the moves are pretty... You have a lot of options. He has got quite a bunch of options. These are the options that I like, because I like running this in Trick Room. Because, you know, Scarf doesn't put you in a great speed tier. So it's not, you know, the best option. Head Smash is his strongest stab move. It's going to chunk a lot of things. Earthquake is there. Again, you know, that it's a strong move in general. Hammer Arm is my go-to fighting type move because it has, you know, good coverage. Rock and Ground has good coverage, and then Fighting and Dark has good coverage. You know, it kind of depends on what your team needs. So Hammer Arm and Crunch are the two other options. Now he does get 2 useful abilities. He's got Sheer Force and Mold Breaker. What you go for kind of depends on what you're doing. Mold Breaker is really good for stopping Rotom forms. Overall, it's not super useful. It only really works with his Earthquake. There's nothing else that he really has that he wants to hit with Mold Breaker. So I prefer Sheer Force, but there's not a lot of moves, you know, like Head Smash does not get boosted, Earthquake does not get boosted, Hammer Arm does not get boosted. Actually, no, I think it does get boosted. I don't know, don't listen to me on that one. And then you can go Life Orb or Choice Band. That's really up to you. Choice Band is literally going to nuke a lot of things, but it locks you in. Head Smash is also only 80 accuracy, so if you want to take the risk, you know, Choice Band Head Smash will totally destroy a lot of souls. But Life Orb is kind of the safe option. You could also go Focus Sash if you really wanted, because he's kind of a glass cannon. I know we have 252 HP. You're not really going to be putting that anywhere else other than maybe speed, but again, 58 bait speed is not great. So that's the set. Other move options, you can go for Rock Slide, Zen Headbutt, Iron Head, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch. He doesn't get Ice Punch, which is a little unfortunate, but if you're going for the sheer force route, Rock Slide might be better. I don't think it's stronger than Head Smash, but you know, it has better accuracy, and it hits both Pokemon at the same time, so that's always an option. You also can go Stone Edge. It does get boosted by Sheer Force because it has that extra crit chance, but again, it only has 80 accuracy. I think it does end up being a little bit stronger than Head Smash with Sheer Force and Life Orb, so that's something to consider. And there's no recoil, so that's might be a good option if you're going for Sheer Force. Did not put that in, but it might be a good option. And it has good coverage moves. I mean, like, if you're having problems against an Amoonguss, Zen Headbutt is actually a pretty solid option. Fire Punch just kind of wrecks those Ferrothorn switch-ins, because you know they're going to switch in a Ferrothorn on a Rampardos. Yeah, it's just kind of up to you what you want. He has a lot of coverage. He can do pretty much all the types. He has pretty much perfect type coverage if you want him to have that. Sorry. Okay, so moving on. Just looking at the calcs. So a head smash at -1 with Life Orb does a minimum of 95% to Landorus Therian. That is impressive. Now, it's not resistant because he is part flying, but that's still really impressive because Landorus is pretty bulky in general. And this Rampardos is calced at -1 with only a Life Orb. So just imagine with the Choice Band, you will one-shot that thing. It's just great. Now, the standard Cresselia that's used on Showdown for the most part, which is 220 HP and 172 defense, probably sassy nature. The head smash does 72% minimum, so that's actually really, really powerful. Again, Choice Band's not gonna change that into a guaranteed one-hit KO. It might. I didn't do the calcs, but I'm pretty sure it will. It will turn it into a chance to one-hit KO, but as with chances, you have an 80% chance to hit. You do an intense recoil, so there's a lot of cons to using Head Smash, but again, you do nuke a lot of things. And just remember, base 165 Rampardos with attack is actually one of the highest attacks in the game, if not the highest. I'm pretty sure it's the highest non-mega. There are some megas that are a little bit stronger, but it is the highest non-mega, at least for sure. But moving into what well, before we move into that, just a quick suggestion. If you really wanted to capitalize on that 58 speed and kind of see what you can do, he does get Rock Polish. Now, I don't really like Rock Polish, and I didn't put it in as a set because I didn't think it was worth it. He's not bulky, and if you're running Rock Polish, you're going to want to put in some speed. So you're not going to be taking hits, probably going to be running Focus Sash. So all in all, I'm not a big fan of Rock Polish Rampardos. It's just not my favorite, but it's an option. Now, this is my favorite Rampardos set, the Mix set, and this is what the video you're watching is showcasing. The Mix set, now basically, Rampardos only has base 65 special attack, so you may be thinking to yourself, Ryan, that is not good at all. Why would we ever run that? Well, there's a few reasons. First of all, Rampardos has amazing special move pool. He gets Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, Earth Power, etc., etc. I actually think that's all he gets, but that's still really damn good. And so you gotta look at it that way. All right. So first of all, he's got a really good move pool. Second of all, take a look at Nidoking. Now, Nidoking only has base 79 special attack, and look at how hard he hits. And that's because Sheer Force and Life Orb is such a perfect combo that it actually puts you with enough power to still get the KOs, and you don't have to worry about being super weak or something like that. So that's really good. But the reason we have to run Mix is because the only rock type stab that Rampardos gets is Ancient Power. And while Ancient Power is base 60, that's not even enough to do a decent sizable chunk to a Charizard Y, a common Charizard Y who runs a little bit bulky. That's not even enough to take that thing out, and that's ridiculous. So we have to run Mix, so we get that Rock Slide stab in there. So the moveset that might be the best if you want to run mostly special, because the EVs are going to be 252 HP, 252 special attack, and 4 attack. You can run Quiet, you can run Modest, you can run whatever you want really, but I like running it in Trick Room because again that 58 speed is really nice. So Rock Slide, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, and Focus Blast. This is probably the best. I mean, Focus Blast is going to nuke anything that comes in your way, and the reason I chose Focus Blast here is because on my normal set, the set that I use, the one in this video that you're watching now, I run Zen Headbutt, and unfortunately about Zen Headbutt, it makes me completely weak to Tyranitar. I can't stop Tyranitar, so Focus Blast is kind of there. I know Tyranitar does get a boost in special defense, so you can always run Iron Head, but Focus Blast is such a powerful move. It's base 120, it gets boosted by Sheer Force and Life Orb, and it's just such a powerful move. So obviously you're going to go Sheer Force, Life Orb, no exceptions. You cannot run anything else. I guess if you really felt like it, you can run Choice Specs. I don't think that's the best idea, because again, you don't get the recoil from Sheer Force. Every move you're using will not affect Sheer Force, so just remember that. I mean, will not give you the Life Orb recoil, so you're going to be staying at full HP, so that's really nice. So other options you can run Zen Headbutt. I like running that because, you know, I don't really know why I run that, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, this is why I made the set this Rock Slide, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, and Focus Blast. Zen Headbutt's okay. You know, if you're seeing some problems against fighting types, that's an option, because you know you don't have anything super effective against fighting types without it, and they can hit you pretty hard. So that's an option. There's Iron Head, which is a pretty solid option, because again, you can hit fairy types, you can hit rock types, which is pretty nice. You got Thunderbolt, which is another coverage option. You can run Bolt Beam if you want instead of Flamethrower, because you do have Focus Blast, so you can still hit some steals. You won't get like a Metagross or something like that, but you really shouldn't be staying in against a Metagross. You get Fire Blast if you want a little bit stronger than a Flamethrower, which I can assure you don't really need, and we'll get into that. Or you can run Earth Power. Earth Power is pretty good. Ground Rock has good coverage. So Assault Vest Landorus Therian with 252 HP. How much do you think this Ice Beam will do? Well, it's a guaranteed one-hit KO. Now, if they start investing a little bit into special defense, then you can't one-hit KO it. But it's almost always guaranteed to be a two-hit KO. And if they're running 252 HP, 252 special defense, positive nature, they can't KO you with an Earthquake. So you're actually in a pretty solid position, especially if you have Trick Room up. So you go for that Ice Beam, eat the Earthquake, go for the Ice Beam again, and they're dead. Now, Aegislash Shield, 252 HP, 4 special defense. Your Flamethrower in the shield form does a minimum of 52% damage. That is really impressive. It is very, very impressive. Now, you can always get a burn. Their Flash Cannon 2-hit KOs you. Actually, no, I think Blade Form does 1-hit KO you. So you have to be a little bit more cautious in that. Ooh, wow, that whistle was probably really bad on the microphone. I can imagine that right now. You have to be a little cautious around an Aegislash, but, you know, it's not going to be too bad. You'll catch them off guard. There's been many games where they burn my Rampardos and then leave it alone because they think, okay, it's a burnt Rampardos. No reason to fight it, you know. It's just dead at this point. And I just hit them with my nice and powerful Flamethrower, and they don't love it. So, yeah, that's Rampardos, guys. I think he's very, very impressive. Really, really diverse, can be used in a multitude of situations, but the only problem is he's not really that bulky, so you're gonna have to support him. You're going to have to support him in order for him to be really used to his fullest potential. I found the team that I ran with him, which was Rampardos, Bronzong, Mega Mawile, Gastrodon, Hariyama, and Aromatisse. The best. Gastrodon really ate up those water-type moves. You got the Bronzong and Mawile for grass moves and stuff like that. So you really want to support the Rampardos because he's not going to be able to take many attacks himself. But other than that, I really like Rampardos. I know you guys loved it when I used my Rampardos, so not much else to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Peace.